TGIF. Hey, thank goodness it's Friday. I'm Barbara Jean, and this is the good news here on Friday night, here on the New Thought Media Network, or Friday afternoon, depending where you live. Well, let's get started. We've got plenty of great news for you tonight. Well, let's start with a little Easter mistake that turned into one grand blessing. So, a small town grocer. Sometimes you place orders and you make a slight mistake. Well, he wanted 80 chocolate Easter eggs for his general store and accidentally ordered 80 cases of Easter eggs. Now, the interesting thing is the population of the island he lives on is only 500. Okay, so a little bit of a problem. Well, wondering what he was going to do with the excess, his heart overtook his mind and he decided to raffle off groups of 100 with proceeds going to the Royal National Lifeboat Institution, the largest of the lifeboat services operating around the coast of the British Isles, which rescues dozens of people and vessels every year. Well, it proved to be a huge hit. And with 3,000 pounds being raised to win batches of 100 eggs. It was so popular that in the ultimate irony, he had to order more chocolate eggs. We actually took a delivery of eggs yesterday because we ran out. He needed to buy more in the end. People wanted them signed and all sorts, said Mr. David. Once word spread a bit and I was invited to talk on local radio, I thought it's not bad enough to be a laughing stock on the island, but to be one all over Orkney from the shores of Albion, it carried across world media, with the grocer soon receiving stacks of letters from people as far away as Singapore writing to say how inspirational he was. Many of the chocolate eggs were manufactured by Nestle, who contacted him with the proposal that they would match any donations received up to 10,000 pounds with the aim of raising 20,000 pounds. Well, what a great thing. A little mistake turned into something remarkable. I'll tell you, we got to watch those mistakes because sometimes they're absolutely perfect. All right, so here's a restaurant owner who has gone above and beyond the call of duty. So this restaurant owner drops everything and drives nearly 6 hours to fulfill a dying woman's last wish. In a heartwarming tale of compassion and kindness, Kevin Cherry, the owner of Outer Banks restaurant Mama Kwan's, went above and beyond to fulfill the final wish of a dying woman, Heather Bowers, who resided 6 hours away in West Virginia. Heather Bowers, battling cancer and confined to her deathbed, expressed her last desire, a pork plate from her favorite vacation spot, Mama Kwan's in Outer Banks, North Carolina. Determined to grant her friend's wish, Mary Simmons reached out to the restaurant hoping for a miracle. Well, what followed was nothing short of extraordinary. I knew it was a long shot, and she calls me about 5, and she said, Kevin already has it packed up. He's in the car, and he's on his way there. I said, what? And she said, he's on his way to the house. Cherry drove nearly 6 hours to deliver what ended up being Bauer's last meal. She passed away the next day. Well, how wonderful is that she got that beautiful last meal from such a kind soul. Uh, about halfway up, he had to turn the radio off and had to talk to himself, saying, you can't walk in here like this. You got to walk, because he was a bit emotional too. A little bit of sunshine. Here I am getting emotional. I don't know any of them. I just love to see acts of kindness. Our world is really ready for a whole lot more of them because there's a lot of people struggling in our world today. So bravo, Kevin. You done good. All right. So here we go. Another good story. A bank teller has helped a woman and she would have lost millions All right. An Australian bank representative recently yanked an unsuspecting woman back from the brink of financial oblivion she was about to throw herself into, resulting from an internet scam. Got to watch that internet stuff. Westpac Bank trains its employees to poke questions at anyone engaging in strange transactions. And after the teller's suspicions were aroused, she was proven right every step of the way. It's an example, says Westpac's head of fraud and financial crime insights, Ben Young, of how valuable the person to person interaction is in the private commercial banking industry and a regrettable loss of bank closures, branch closures across the country. But as regards the scam, teller Mariana Karbowski at the Liverpool branch noticed a woman in her 70s seem nervous, coming in with the news that she was going to sell her home and that she wished to cancel the home insurance she had through Westpac. Asked why she was planning to sell, Karbowski got the unsatisfactory answer that the woman needed to help her son. Inviting the woman into one of the personal offices, the clerk dug a little deeper and found out the reason the woman was going to make one of the largest financial decisions of her life. She needed to free her boyfriend from an overseas prison. Speaking of jail, Karbowski took no prisoners when she heard this was the woman's motivation. My next question was, please tell me the last time he took you out for a coffee. And she said, actually, never. We met online. It didn't take long for the teller, whose very father was scammed out of millions, as it happens, and who decided to run a reverse image search on Google of the man the woman claimed was her internet boyfriend, to discover that many of the photos the client received from the man were online, but with different names. We cried together and I walked her to the police station to report it. We care when we see those red flags. Sometimes we get asked a lot of questions when we go online. I know I can get a little frustrated some days with all of the questions and redoing things, but sometimes it is a really good thing. So bravo to that hero. She done really, really good. All right, here's a sweet story of a dog, another hero, who saves his owner's life for days, fighting off the cold and coyotes and getting help. An Akita named Hero, interesting name, saved his owner's life in an incredible tale of loyalty and resilience that saw him remain by his side through two frigid Alberta nights, fend off coyotes, and eventually alert rescuers. Winning plaudits for his name, indeed, the world over, a GoFundMe raised $3,000 to cover the veterinary bills of Hero by the shelter that is keeping him safe and warm while his owner recovers. The story began with an attack when a passerby named Curtis Dahl was walking in a field of mud and grass near the sugar factory in the town of Tabor, and Hero came running up and bit his dog around the neck. Dahl claims he tussled with Hero for 10 minutes trying to get him off his dog and needed stitches on his finger by the end of it. Calling police and animal services with a complaint, he alerted them to Hero's presence. But when the officers arrived and saw Hero lying down exhausted, nearing a plot of grass, they suddenly heard a cry for help. They found a 61-year-old man on his back in a ditch, shivering and unable to move. He told police he'd been stuck here for 2 days while Hero protected him. While the man was taken to hospital, Hero was taken to Tabor Lost Paws Society, an animal shelter that has a special program to look after dogs during periods of crisis or injury. I'll tell you, that little dog, well, he's kind of a big dog, but good thing he kept his owner safe and secure and knew how to get help. Wow. Well named little dog for sure, for sure. Well, here's a guy with a passion. Now, we all know that we're coming up to this solar eclipse, right? The big day is Monday. Well, here, meet Laverne Beiser, a 105-year-old eclipse chaser, excited to add the 13th to his list. Wow. He's an enthusiast from Texas and he's gearing up to witness his 13th solar eclipse on April 8th, extending a lifelong fascination that has taken him across continents. Laverne Beiser embarked on his eclipse journey in 1963, trekking to Maine for his inaugural experience. Since then, he has captured these celestial spectacles through his camera lens, cherishing each moment despite the challenges of photographing against a dark sky. One of his favorite photos was taken in 1979 during a solar eclipse in Williston, South Dakota. Now, his passion for eclipses has led him to traverse the globe from Texas to Brazil in search of these awe inspiring phenomena. For Beiser, each eclipse holds its own unique beauty, a sentiment that has fueled his relentless pursuit of these cosmic events. Despite his extensive travels, Beiser finds special significance in the upcoming eclipse, which will grace his own backyard. Offering advice to fellow viewers, he emphasizes the importance of experiencing the entire event, urging spectators to remove their glasses during the total eclipse to fully appreciate its splendor. Wow, that sounds like something else. And on that note, let's take a little commercial break and we'll be back with more good news. You're watching the New Thought Media Network. We'll be right back.
Watch me change when you change the way you look at things. The things you look at change. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change.
And we're back. Well, I love stories about Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast is one of my favorite YouTubers. Every now and again, I check out what he's got going on. And here he goes again. Mr. Beast and electric e-bikes donate 600 e-bikes to people in need. In a collaboration between the popular YouTuber Jimmy Donaldson, famously known as Mr. Beast, and the rapidly expanding electric bike company Electric E-Bikes, a remarkable initiative has unfolded, touching the lives of 600 individuals in need across America. Electric e-bikes, recognized as one of the nation's leading electric bike manufacturers, joined forces with Donaldson's Beast Philanthropy, a nonprofit organization, with the goal of making the world a better place. Together, they embarked on a mission to provide life-changing electric bike to those facing transportation challenges. With a shared vision of making a tangible difference in people's lives, the partnership saw Electric E-Bikes generously donate $600,000 worth of electric bikes to Beast Philanthropy. E-bikes can make a significant positive impact on the lives of individuals, especially those who are struggling due to a lack of reliable transportation. To identify deserving recipients, Beast Philanthropy enlisted the support of Mr. Beast's vast online community, encouraging individuals to submit videos detailing their need for an electric bike. After careful deliberation, 600 individuals were selected as recipients of the life-changing bikes. Some bikes were hand-delivered to recipients, while others were shipped directly to their doorsteps, ensuring a seamless and efficient distribution process. The impact of this initiative was profoundly evident as recipients shared their joy and gratitude through video responses showcasing the transformative power of their new electric bikes. Mr. Beast is always looking for a way to create a new video and create lots of laughter, and but he's also incredibly generous and always finds way to give back to the community. So, way to go once again, Mr. Beast. Well, here we go. The brain, the brain. Don't you just love science stuff? So, compared to 75 years ago, the human brain is bigger. Hmm. With a little reserve against dementia? Well, you gotta like that. Compared to those who sailed away to fight World War II and to those who awaited their return, the average brain size in a human today has grown by 6.6%. Now, in addition to being 6.6% denser, the surface area of the modern brain is about 15% larger as well. And these findings suggest that humans today may be able to better stave off neurodegenerative diseases like dementia, which primarily manifest in a shrinking brain. The finding comes from a team of UC Davis that analyzed 75 years worth of brain changes between generations. Larger brain structures like those observed in our study may reflect improved brain development and improved brain health. A larger brain structure represents a larger brain reserve and may buffer the late life effects of age related brain diseases like Alzheimer's and dementia. Hmm. The study published in the journal JAMA Neurology used brain magnetic resonance imaging from, or MRIs, that's easier, from participants in the Framingham Heart Study that were taken in 1999 and 2019. The heart study was launched in 1948 in Massachusetts to analyze patterns of cardiovascular and other diseases. The original cohort consisted of 5,209 men and women ages 30 to 62. The research has continued over the years and now includes second and third generations of participants. So they've had a lot of years to study this and they're seeing a big difference. Let's hope that, maybe in time, dementia and Alzheimer's could be kicked to the curb. Wouldn't that be sweet? All right. So, the most important thing for any of us at any point in time, at any age, of course, is clean water. And there are a lot of people in our world that don't have any. Well, there's a new solar powered um, system to convert salt water into fresh drinking water, which they say could reduce dangerous risk of waterborne diseases like cholera. So, via tests in rural communities, they showed that the present process is more than 20% cheaper than traditional methods and can be deployed in rural regions around the globe. Building on existing processes that convert saline groundwater to fresh water, the researchers from King's College London, in collaboration with MIT and the Helmholtz Institute for Renewable Energy Systems, created a new system that produced consistent levels of water using solar power and reported it in a paper published recently in Nature Water. It works through a process called electrodialysis, which separates the salt using a set of specialized membranes that channel salt ions into a stream of brine, leaving the water fresh and drinkable. By flexibly adjusting the voltage and the rate at which salt water flowed through the system, the researchers developed a system that adjusts to variable sunshine while not compromising on the amount of fresh drinking water produced. Hmm. By offering a cheap, eco-friendly alternative that can be operated off the grid, our technology enables communities to tap into alternative water sources, such as deep aquifers or saline water, to address water scarcity and contamination in traditional water supplies. This is really, really important. The one thing that we cannot live without, well, there's a couple things we can't live without, but water is definitely one of them. So this is absolutely fantastic, groundbreaking news. I am excited to see what happens with that. All right. So, moving on from there, well, let's just continue with the whole thing of water and let's talk a little bit about coffee. Well, coffee grounds to be specific. Coffee grounds have been tested in a laboratory setting for their potential use as a cleanup agent of common agricultural runoff, suggesting that along with compost, snail repellent, and many other uses, used coffee grounds could protect water sources from agricultural pollution. Hmm, this sounds interesting. The study looked at bentazone, a common herbicide used in agriculture, and found that when coffee grounds are activated with zinc chloride, the carbon molecules therein could remove 70% of the benzone content from contaminated water. Agriculture runoff from vegetable and grain farming is one of the largest sources of water pollution in human society. Chemicals or fertilizers are spread over fields, and rains wash the excess into the waterways. Herbicides, pesticides, and fungicides wreak havoc on river life forms, while the excess phosphorus and nitrogen causes algae blooms in bays and estuaries, choking the life from seagrass and other species. On a brighter side, gardeners, responsible business owners, and inventors all over the world use coffee grounds for all kinds of things, and the scope of their second and third use values is growing every year, along with mixing them into compost or ensuring they're responsibly recycled. Innovators have been taking coffee's unique chemical composition and adding it to, well, you name it, a little bit of everything: concrete, shoes, furniture, low income housing. There's probably more. Millions of tons of coffee grounds are nevertheless produced every year and sent to landfills where they decompose and emit greenhouse gas. Let's take those coffee grounds and let's spread them in our gardens. Let's do something good with that excess. All right, so here's a beautiful story of a remarkable, remarkable plant. So, this is a story of how this flowering tree was pretty much lost, but humans have ensured its survival. Look how beautiful this is. Wow. Now, if you're the kind of person who likes rare things, the Toramero tree would be a truly exceptional addition to your ornamental garden. That's the only place you're likely to find these trees these days. 70 years after it went extinct on its native island, Easter Island, the buoyant and salt resistant Toramero tree arrived on Easter Island 35,000 years ago and populated the island's rich palm tree forest that once existed. The tree itself is a remarkable thing, though it could be more accurately described as a shrub rather than a tree. It belongs to the genus Saphora, which is an overcrowded collection of 60 highly varied individuals found all over the Pacific. Sapporo Toramiro produces beautiful flowers of yellow drapery, reminiscent of those little ghosts made in elementary school out of marshmallows and tissues for Halloween decorations. Its reddish wood is fine grained and excellent for carving and makes all kinds of great things from paddles, statues, utensils, you name it. So we now have this saved by having these beautiful flowers in our gardens. So bravo for that. That's an incredible story. And I love flowers so much. Okay, well, let's just close off tonight on a fun little heartwarming story. It was the biggest mystery in the state of Oklahoma, a mystery that involves what sounded over the phone to be a preschooler who really wanted some French fries. In late February, Noble Smoking Joe's Barbecue in Oklahoma found itself bombarded with persistent calls from children, all with the same peculiar request: French fries delivered straight to their doorstep. Oh, that sounds like many of the kids I know. Summer Williams, the restaurant owner, found herself at the center of an unexpected saga. It was last Monday when I picked up the phone at the restaurant. A voice that sounded like it came from a very young child asked me if she could have some French fries. She added, I told her I was glad to help, but needed to speak to an adult. The voice told me a parent was not close by. Day by day, the calls persisted. Eventually, more young voices had joined the French fry girl on the phone. Another girl said they would try to come to the restaurant, but their car was broken down. She said it would cost $15 to repair. Suddenly, they wanted two French fries and two drinks. One told me they were in pre-K, and I said, "No way." And they said, "Yes way." The continuous calls prompted Williams to take action. She turned to social media, hoping to unravel the mystery behind the mysterious callers. I posted on Facebook trying to figure out who was on the other end of the line. Her posts would go viral, drawing attention from people across the globe who eagerly followed the unfolding story. Determined to crack the case, Williams devised a clever plan to elicit some more information. I'm going to give a French fry party to your school if I can talk to your mom. Well, undeterred, the children put on another kid who pretended to be a parent, like that's going to win. When everyone heard about this dog of theirs, because they heard the dog in the background and they heard the children say Beethoven. So once they found the name of Beethoven, eventually they were able to figure out who was making these phone calls. The breakthrough came through when Catherine I. Daly Elementary identified the hungry culprits, Emily, Miley, and Linda. And on March 26th, the much anticipated French fry parties became a reality as the trio of friends celebrated with their classmates, thanks to William's determination and the collaborative spirit of the community. Wow, it was really fun trying to find them. Williams confessed, I did not know it would go worldwide. It's fascinating to me what goes viral and what doesn't, what people really land on and connect to. And it seems like children of stories and animals always seem to garner a lot of attention. And I want to invite anybody watching tonight to be sure to check out my show next Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. in Mountain Time, where I'll be interviewing one such hero. I'm interviewing a gentleman from Alberta who managed to talk a jumper off a bridge last Saturday night. And the story is truly, truly remarkable. Just a guy driving by stops his car and goes and makes a connection, saving the life of a young man. I'll tell you, you never know where your life is going to take you, and you never know how great it's going to feel in the end. But I'll tell you, for each and every one of us who is here, every day, in every way that we smile at another person, do some small act of kindness, open a door, share a ride, or purchase a cup of coffee for someone. And maybe it is just a smile, but whatever it is, just know you are making a difference. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Join us again next week when we have more good news for you. Thank you for watching. This is the good news here on the New Thought Media Network. And be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And hey, by the way, make a donation. Make sure we keep coming back. Have a great weekend, everybody. Bye for now.
On behalf of everyone at New Thought Media Network, thank you for being a member of our virtual family. Your financial contributions help share the New Thought message with people from around the world. Please visit and contribute at www.ntmedia.org/donate. New Thought Media Network, come be you. And please like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, peace and blessings.